person perceives information differently, depending on what experiences they've had in life. This is why one person can see information as positive, and another can see the same information as negative. So we'll start out carefully in this series to be sure that everyone is receiving the message as intended, beginning with what is meant by the term home church. According to the manual of the Church of the Nazarene in Acts 2:42, a home church is a group that regularly gathers, worships God, spends time in fellowship, prayer, study of the Word, has a recognized leader, and the desire to someday function as an independent church. This is what we mean when we say home church. However, this is the definition for a single home church. When home churches are used in mission, they need some additional characteristics to be effective. From the time the groups are started, they need to have missionary thinking and ministry directed not only to fulfill the spiritual needs of the group, but also to meet the spiritual needs of the town or city. They need to think about multiplying by helping other home churches get started. They need to start and multiply because the local church understands the importance of mission and prayerfully decides to act on that understanding. So where do new home churches get started? Physically speaking, they can get started anywhere that people can gather and do the things that home churches do. Often this is in a house or apartment because it's the most economic option. However, a home church isn't technically limited to meeting in a home. They can meet in a rented or borrowed space, so long as the venue suits the purpose. Home churches may even decide to meet inside of an existing church building. It's worth noting that some countries have laws that apply to home churches, and for this reason, it's important for a pastor to be involved when a new home church is formed. A pastor will be able to help create a workable strategy for the group. One of the common objections to the idea of starting a home church is that it takes sacrifice, and this may weaken a church that helps to start one, especially because new home churches are often started with some of the more developed and gifted members of a local church. It's undeniably difficult for a local church to send out some of their people to start a new church. For a pastor, it's frightening to feel like you're going to give up some of your best. Humanly speaking, yes, this is hard. But in reality, the church is humbly giving God His people so that they can be part of His mission. Many local churches who in faith send out some of their own to start new churches later experience blessing and growth. God has a way of blessing the giver for giving in faith.